Shub Prabhat. Buenos dias. Good morning. How y'all doing this morning? We gotta make this quick because I don't know if I can be right here, and I ain't trying to get my truck towed. My truck done got towed a couple times, and I am traumatized. I am traumatized. So let's make this quick. I guess we'll start here. We're gonna start with a quote. We're gonna start with a quote. I'm gonna start with a quote right now. Here's the quote. It's by Frederick Douglass. They went along composing and singing. No, that's not how it goes. Hold on, let me think about this. Okay, here it goes. Here it goes. They composed and sing. No, that is not right. Let me read this. Oh, all right, I got it. I'm almost. I'm like in fight or flight right now because I'm trying to hurry up. I've been drinking coffee and I just keep imagining a tow truck trying to come in here and block me in. So bear with me. Bear with me. All right. As they went along, they would compose and sing, not consulting neither time nor tune. The thought that came up came out, if not in the word, in the tune, in the sound, rather. We're going to do it one more time. As they went along, they would compose and sing, consulting neither time nor tune. The thought that came up came out. The thought that came up came out, if not in the word, in the sound. It's a powerful quote. That's a powerful passage, a powerful excerpt from that book. I hope I said that right. Excerpt. Um, where am I going with this? I frequent this this cafe, right? And sometimes I see individuals come in and they have on like these animal costumes. It's really cool. It's really cool. I like how they express themselves. I do. I like how they express themselves. Um, and it made me think about the animalistic part of us. Um, going back to the animalistic part of us, animals, they make sounds. They make certain sounds, right? And they don't have to like consciously think about these sounds. They don't have to sit there and think about like, oh man, how am I gonna cry? Right? They're not thinking about how I'm gonna cry. They're not thinking about how I'm going to roar. They're not thinking about how I'm going to intimidate this pack of heathens, right? The cub isn't like, oh my god, how I need to structure and create laws about how I'm going to um, 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 cry out for my mother. It just naturally happens. It instinctively happens. It comes from a real place. If it's fear, it comes from a place of fear. If it's hunger, it comes from a place of hunger. If it's to dominate, that's where it comes from. That's where that sound comes from. When you think of a lion and it's with its pride, or it's about to uh you dig navigate the you dig the land, and it needs to make its presence known, it roars. Get up through. You hear a roar, you getting up through. You know what's going on. You know what's happening. Something instinctively happens in us when we hear a dog. Ain't that right? Come on, Mr. Postman. That sure is, Mr. Postman. When we hear a dog, something instinctively happens in us, in most of us. Our legs probably get the upping in. Ain't that right? And we kick dust. We get up out of there. So what I'm saying is there is there is something built within animals, um, into which when they vocalize themselves, it's 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 instinctively, it's innately felt. It's innately felt by not only themselves but everything else and everybody else around them, right? So if it's fear, it's a cry, and you feel me. It's a whelp. It's a yell, and the mother feels that, and it knows that, and it does something to the mother, and they, try to get to their cub. When the big dog on the block, when the lion, when the tiger, when the big cat uh uh wants to make his presence known, it it does whatever it does. It roars, or it does some type of vocalization, right? Okay, humans can do the same thing. Humans do the same thing. Humans do the same thing. However, because of this part of our mind that has to have everything managed, because of this part of our mind that has to have everything managed, because of this part of our mind that has to have everything um, organized, because everything has to be thoroughly thought through, because in our mind everything has to be thoroughly thought through, because in our mind everything has to be assembled correctly. It takes away, sometimes it takes away from that innate power, that that innate freedom. Art is like freedom. Art is freedom, right? And so we're taken away from our art. We're taken away from our freedom when we sometimes when we try to always consciously control things. We're micromanaging ourselves, essentially. Essentially, you're a creator, you're an artist, but it's hard for you to materialize your thoughts because you're micromanaging yourself. Because you're micromanaging yourself. Art comes up. Okay, okay. There are several parts of our artistic sides, right? Once again, we have our, what Carl Jung calls it, our psychological side, and then there's another side, and he calls it the visionary side, right? And they're both very interesting. But what I concluded and what I interpreted, what kind of manifested in my imagination, in addition with my experience, is this: you're thinking too much. You're thinking entirely too much. You have to let it flow. There are some things that I don't experience anymore. And because I don't experience those things, I feel emotional about it. Right. And so instead of sometimes, like, first of all, like art is very therapeutic. So through singing, writing poetry, painting, sketching, um, doing anything with an instrument, um, sports. I think sports is very, and being athletic is very artistic, in fact. But anyways, these things are therapeutic, right? And sometimes I use these things to release that emotion. I don't always have to construct. Now I can do it in words, right? But once again, if if you're trying to express yourself through words, it comes back to that. So most for the most, for most of us, it's conscious. It has to be conscious. It has to be well thought out. That now you're micromanaging yourself again. It has to be well thought out, don't it? Because of why? Because maybe because of people that's gonna judge us. We feel like somebody's gonna judge us. We feel like uh it's not good enough because we're comparing it to somebody else. It's overly thought. It's way too conscious. Sometimes you gotta just let it flow. Let it come from somewhere deep inside of you so that you can feel that innate power and let that innate power eject. Let that current flow. Way too conscious about it. Um, just like the animals, they're not sitting there thinking whoop 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 whoop. They just gonna roar. Wow. That's what you need to do. You need to go roar. You need to go roar. Wow. You see that? I didn't even have to think about that. It just came out. It just came out. Sometimes that's how it has to be. Sometimes that's how it has to be. Um, Carl Jung also talks about how this is one of my favorite parts. He talks about how so a person, right? The person can use the art. The person can use the art. And you know what? In fact, that makes me think of something. There used to be you know how there was the church I used to go to, there was this guy that would always say, "Let him use you." That's what he would say. When the spirit got to moving, when the spirit got to moving, and somebody was singing, or somebody was playing an instrument, or somebody was, or you know what I'm saying, talking, and you dig, edifying and preaching the word, you know what he would say, and when he felt something, you know what he would say, "Let him use you. Let him use you." What did he mean by that? That the entity, the spirit, God, would take host. You feel me? And in different ways, he would present himself in different ways, and sometimes he would present himself through somebody singing, or somebody preaching, or somebody playing an instrument. You dig? And so he would be like, "Let him use you. Let God use you." Well, I'm here to say this today. I'm here to say this today. Sometimes as people, we use art, but the reverse can happen. Sometimes art uses us. You understand what I'm saying? You dig? Sometimes art uses us. Carl Jung explains it. He's like, he refers to the artist as a poet. You know what I'm saying? He just kind of generalized it. Well, I just generalize it. But when he's talking about artists, he used the word poet. And so he's like, he's like the poet. He was like, sometimes sometimes the art takes a hold of the poet, and the poet is no longer human. The artist is no longer human. It's the artist is artist. He is no longer human. So the art in a way possesses the human and then expresses itself. And you can do that, but it's difficult for you to do that because you want to be in control, because you're micromanaging yourself. And so now the art can't do what the art needs to do because of you. I didn't even mean to make that rhyme, but you see how that flows? That's a prime example. Content creators, you dig? Are some people too self-conscious about what they're doing, their work, the way they edit and stuff? I don't know. But what I do know is this: the thought that came up came out. If not in the word, in the sound. Now, what I would like for you to do is replace the word sound with something else that you do. Replace the word sound with your craft. Replace the word sound with your craft. The thought that came up came out. If not in the words, in the. So yeah, man, that's about it. That's all I wanted to you dig. That's what I thought I'd share that today. Um, creating, crafting, whatever you do. If you build things, that is art. Sculpting, everything. It's art. But you must let it use you. Let it use you. Let the art use you. I think that's about it. It's a beautiful day. Have a good one.